Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Hello everyone, welcome back to the PL-300 exam preparation series where we are exploring the second learning path, model the data. The topic for this video is configure table and column properties, which is part of the section design and implement a data model. So in the previous video, we had a detailed look at the data model, that how a data model is finally created once we define the relationships and define the cross filter direction and the cardinality. Now we are essentially looking at the model view, and we are going to see that what other properties that we can change for the table and for the column inside the data view, or recently it has been renamed as the table view in Power BI desktop. So let's see what are some of these properties. So here I am inside the model view of the Power BI desktop file, and I'm using the same file, Maven Market Report, that we explored in the previous videos. So here on the right side we have the data area, and here you can see all the tables. And if I just click on one of the tables, as soon as I click on this table, I see certain options in this properties area. So this area, which is the properties tab, here I have two tabs. One is the general tab and one is the advanced tab. So this is the area where I can configure some of the options related to the tables. Secondly, if I just expand one of the tables, so let's just expand this customers table, and if I go and click on any one column, so let's say I click here on the customer city, then some of the options here are different from the options which we saw for the table. So depends, whatever part you click here, then the options are going to show here for that particular part. So you have options for the entire table. So if you just click on the table, then you have the options for the table, and if you just go and click on the particular column, then you have the options for the column. So let's go and first explore some of the options associated with the table first. So I have clicked here on the customers table, and this is the properties area. So first I'm going to expand this general area. So here it is giving me the option to change the name of the table. If I want to give any description related to this table, anything that I want to just put here, that what this table represents, I can put a description here. Then this part, which is the synonyms part. So this is a very important part. So normally there is a functionality in Power BI which is called as the question and answer visual, or Q&A visual, and that visual allows you, through the use of AI, that you can ask different questions about your data. So if you have a table, like here we have the customers table, so we can add a few synonyms that can explain about this table. So I can write a few words, and then I can refer to these synonyms once I am asking questions about my data. So if you want to have this functionality, you want to improve the functionality of the Q&A visual or the Q&A feature that uses the artificial intelligence capability or the AI capability, then you can add synonyms in this particular area. Then we have the next setting, which is the row label. So once we have selected the table, like I have here as the customers table, then it gives me the option of selecting a row label. So a row label is what? So a row label is basically that I have all the columns available here in the table customers, and I can select a column that best describes the table. So I can say that, okay, the customer name maybe, or the customer address, or the customer full name, or anything that best represents the customer table, I can select here, and that is going to be my row label. So I can select whatever column I want, and even if I don't want to select anything here, that is also fine. Then the next option for the table is the key column. So if you have a table like customers, then you can select a column with unique values. So I know that customers is a dimension, and I can go and select my column, which is the customer ID here. So I can select my customer ID, and I can tell that, okay, this is the key column for this particular table, which is the customers table. But even if I don't want to do anything here, then I can leave it as it is. So here, like, I have selected the customer ID. Now, if you just go and see in this view that I have the key flag or the key icon next to the customer ID. So only the option, the benefit of this option is that if you have so many tables and you forget that what is the key column, then this is an indicator that tells you that, okay, this is the ID column associated with this customers table column. The next option here that we see is the is hidden option. So is hidden option is right now set to no, and by default it is also set to no. So let me just change this option, and while I change this option, you are going to see that the data view, in the data view, these icons which represent a closed eye, these appear in front of the table and in front of all the columns in the table. So what is this icon showing? This icon is showing that this table, this customers table, is now no longer available in the report view. So if you want to hide any table for any reason, then you can just go and change this option here from no to yes. And if I go in the report view, here you are going to see that no longer the customers table is available here. So you can just make this customers table disappear from the report view, and you can do it inside the properties by using this is hidden flag. So I'm just turning it back to the normal no option. The next option available is the is featured table option, which is by default set to no. So this is featured table option is not related to Power BI, but it is a feature that is related to some of the features in Excel. So as you know that Power BI belongs to Microsoft, and Microsoft has another tool, Microsoft Excel, that has been around for a very long time. And there is this inherent connectivity between Power BI and Excel. So if you want to make any table in your data model as a feature table, then this table is available inside the Excel data gallery. So let me just go and show you the Excel environment now. So here I am inside the Microsoft Excel environment, and here if we go inside the data tab here, and inside the data tab we have this area. So if you select that particular flag to yes, you make that a featured table, then there are certain tables that become available to the users inside the Excel environment as a feature table. So there are some types of tables here, and these are referred to as the Excel data gallery. So you actually have that particular table available as a feature table and the Excel data gallery. So if you are planning to do some kind of an analysis using that table inside of Excel, then you can change that to a feature table. So we are going to partly explore this functionality once we are talking about analyze in Excel option, which is available inside the Power BI service. As a part of this feature table option, you have edit option here. So if I just click on this edit option here, it tells you that the data in feature table is discoverable in the connected products. So Excel is one of the connected products. So you can add a description, you can have a row label, key column, some of the things that you can set up related to this feature table functionality by using this edit option as well. So now we have seen all the options available in the general area. So now I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to expand this advanced option. So here we see an option which we are going to talk about in great detail in another video, which is the storage mode. So here you can see that the option that is available is import. So I'm not going to discuss the storage mode in this option. So you will have to wait for another video. We are going to discuss all the storage modes which are available for the tables in Power BI. Now I am going to explore the options related to the columns here. So I am going to go and click on the customer city option here. And first I am going to look at the general properties here. So here you can see that it is kind of similar to the options we saw for the table. So here we have the name, here we have the description for a column, here we have the synonym. So like we have the synonyms for the table, we can also put synonyms for the column. So like here it is shown as customer city, customer underscore city. So all of this. Then there is another very interesting option, which is the display folder. So there can be multiple columns in a table that actually belong to a kind of a same category. So let's say we have here a column first name, and we also have a column name. So we know that both of these, first name and full name, these and then there is the last name. So these three columns are related to the name of a customer. So we have the option to put all three of these columns inside a folder, and we can give that folder a name, so that we can know that these columns are related to the name of a customer. So now let's go and create this. So here I'm going to give it a name, customer underscore name, and I'm going to press enter by selecting the first name. And here you see that now a folder has been created. So previously there was no folder. So now I can see that there is this customer name folder, and inside this folder I have the first name. So now I can pull in the full name also into this area. So I can just select full name here and then just drag this and put it over the customer name. So you're going to see that the full name again is now part of the folder here. So this is a very useful functionality. Let me do it for the last name as well. So here I can go and I can put the last name here as well. So here now you can see that there is this folder structure, and inside this folder structure I can clearly see that first name, full name and last name are available. And if I go and see this in the report view, so if I go and see this in the report view, here in the report view also you can see that this folder is available. So if you want to create this kind of a hierarchy or this kind of a arrangement where you want to put certain columns inside a folder structure, then this display folder option can be used for this particular feature. Next option is the same option that we have seen for the table. So if you want to just hide a particular column, then you can just select that column and you can set it to hidden. So one important use of this is hidden feature is that for the ID columns. So the ID columns, because we know that these are just there to create the relationships, so it is recommended that you can hide these columns from the report view. So I can just come here and I can either use this particular icon, this eye icon. I can just click on this icon, then it is going to have the same functionality as the is hidden option here. So I can either do it from here or I can just press on this icon. So it is recommended that you hide the unnecessary columns, because customer ID is just there to create the relationship. It actually communicates nothing. So it is always recommended that you hide such ID columns from all your tables. And if there are other columns that you do not want the report end user to interact with, then you can also go and hide these columns in this area. Now we are done with all the options in the general area, and now I'm going to click on the formatting area. So this formatting area allows you to actually have a look at the data type, format, and some of the ways that the particular column is going to appear in the report view. So you can come here and change this. So normally it is not recommended to change anything from this area, but you should be familiar that you can come here and change the data type, the format, the percentage format if it is applicable, 1000 format, or the decimal places. But one thing that you can do here, and which is highly recommended, is that just select your date field, and in your date field, so if you have a date field, then just come here and change the format of your date field. So the best option is to put it in this format, which is the MMDD and YY. So this kind of a format, instead of this long format where you have the complete information and as the form of a name of the day, then the complete date. So just choose one of these. So I normally prefer this MMDDYY, this option, or the DDMMYY option. So it totally depends on you that how you want your date to look like, in your report. But normally you can do it in this area, and you can do it for all your dates. So this formatting window is here to change the way how your respective column is going to look like in the report view. The next area here is the advanced area. So let me just go and select a particular column. So here, this is the first option that we see, which is the sort by column. So the sort by column is particularly useful in the columns where we want to change the sorting. So let's go and select here another column, which is the month name. So a month name is probably more pertinent to select here. So if I select month name, that I know that the month name is going to be a text column, and the default sorting which is available for text based column is either ascending or descending based upon the alphabet. So we have the alphabetical sorting, but if we are pulling the month name in a visual, then we do not want to see the results based on the alphabetical sorting, because we know that the order of the month is more important than the alphabetical order. So we want the sorting to be like January, February, March, and so on and so forth. So for that, we have the option to include another column, and we can include that column for this particular month name column, and we can say that, okay, just go do the sorting based on that column. So normally that column is a month number column. We do not have this column here in this data set, but we can have this month number column we can create this month number column in a way that we created all the other columns, and this column can be used in the sort by column. So this is a very important column, and especially for month name, day name, and some of the other fields where the ordering is important in the categorical columns, like the special type that we saw as the ordinal column. So this column can be this option can be used, and that column can be put here in the sort by column option. Next, we have another option which says data category. So if I just click on this option, it is going to give me different options. So this option is useful for the geographical data fields in our data, especially the geographical data field. So if I just go and click on the customers table and click on customer city, and then come on this area, then I can say that, okay, this customer city should represent the city in my data. So as soon as I go and select it here as a city, you are going to see that there is this globe icon. It appears next to the customer city option here, and this is a very useful option. And this option tells Power BI that, okay, this is a column that can be used in a geographical visual, which is a map visual. So you can specify any of the data categories specific to these columns, especially the columns which can be shown on a map, or the geographical or the spatial column data types that we have seen in the earlier videos. Next option that we have is the summarize by column. So remember, we discussed this option once we were talking about the data types in Power BI, and I said that the columns which are set as a whole number or any of the integer data type, then there is the default summarize by setting in Power BI, and Power BI wants to summarize those columns or aggregate those columns as a sum. So let me just go and select a column. So here we have a column total children. So as soon as I select this total children column here you can see that for this numerical column or this quantitative column, the default summarize by option is the sum. So here I can go and I can change that aggregation or summarize by option to any other value as per my requirement, but it is set to sum in the default setting. So this is another option that you need to be familiar about. The last setting in this particular area is the is nullable setting, and you can see that this setting is set to yes. So is nullable setting allows Power BI you are telling Power BI that you can allow null values in this particular column. So if you have a column which says is nullable, yes, that it means that null values can come as part of the data in this particular column. If you change it to no, then obviously you do not want null values to come, and if there is any null value, then Power BI is going to throw a warning that okay, there is a null value which is not required, or which is not desired in this particular column. So in this video, we have talked in detail about the column and table properties that you can set inside the data view or the table view in Power BI desktop. Some of these options are important, and these can come as part of a question on the exam. So make sure that you are familiar with all these options and all the settings within these options, so that if a question comes, then it is easier for you to simply recognize what is the option that I have to select. So that's all for this video, and I will see you in the next one.